I've been using the Nothing Phone 2A for more than 3 weeks right now, and I have to say, this is a really good smartphone, and I did consider this a good value. That was at least until last week. But right now, there are one or two contenders who have come up, which makes justifying buying this a lot hard right now. But I'll talk about that at the end of the video, because that will help you decide if you should buy this or not. And before that, in this long-term review, I'll talk about all the good and the bad about the Nothing Phone 2A. So without wasting any precious time, let's begin. Now, I'm not going to be emphasizing a lot on things like the Glyph interface and things like that, but rather I'll be addressing the important stuff, and let's begin with the performance. Now, this is one of the smoothest and snappiest smartphones I've used, especially in this price range. The hardware and software optimization is on point here. Now, I have to say I did underestimate the Dimensity 7200 Pro a lot, and this chip has definitely surprised me, especially when it came to gaming and the thermals. Now, on regular usage, the phone is definitely snappy and smooth. The animations are smooth, there's no lag and stutter, and that is how it should be. You know, that those things should never pop up, and happy to say none of them are here. But the thing that surprised me the most was gaming on the smartphone. Now, I did make a dedicated intensive gaming review few weeks back, so I'll have it in the card somewhere here, so make sure you check that out. But to summarize it for you, the Nothing Phone 2A can definitely play games like BGMI and Call of Duty at high settings at 60 FPS without any issues. Now, if you want to play BGMI, you can keep the settings, the graphic settings at HD and the frame rate at the Ultra, and you can get a really smooth gaming experience at 60 FPS consistent, no frame drops. Whereas in Call of Duty, you can keep the settings at max and the frame rate at max and still get 60 FPS without any issues. There's no lag, there's no stutter, there is no overheating, which makes the gaming performance even better. And fun fact, this thing could even handle Genshin Impact at the highest settings, and it hovered around 45 to 50 FPS, but this was consistent. No frame drops, but consistent 45-50 FPS, and that is great. So what I would conclude with respect to gaming is that if you're someone who plays a lot of BGMI and Call of Duty, then this phone can definitely handle that at high settings at 60 FPS without any issues, consistently, no thermal throttling, nothing. But please don't expect 90 FPS gaming, extreme graphics gaming on this. It's not possible. Come on, we have to be realistic here. And the Dimensity 7200 Pro performing like this itself is a huge win for all of us. So great job, Nothing. Now, gaming aside and real world use aside, I did put this phone through a lot of synthetic benchmarks. I kept running these benchmarks again and again, and I have to say, this smartphone is one of the most stable smartphones I've seen, which doesn't thermal throttle, which gives, consistent performance over board. Now, this doesn't have like the best performance or anything, but what you get here is stable throughout. No matter how many loops this runs through, the performance has been stable. That, in my opinion, is something every smartphone should have: stability, and the Nothing Phone 2A delivers on that. Now, I personally think that the main reason for all of this is not because the Dimensity 7200 Pro is like an amazing chip, but it is also because Nothing has optimized this well with the help of the Nothing OS. Now, I am a huge stock Android loving fellow, and the Nothing OS comes near to that, and I have to say, this is one of the best and cleanest OSs I have seen, especially in this price range. The Nothing OS is clean, has no bloatware, no unnecessary ads and crap, and it is super lightweight. So Nothing has done a great job in optimizing both the hardware and software on the Nothing Phone 2A. In conclusion, when it comes to performance, you are definitely going to be enjoying the performance on the Nothing Phone 2A because it is smooth, snappy, you can game comfortably, and it doesn't even overheat. And that is an amazing job from the team at Nothing. Next up, let's talk about the display. The Full HD Plus AMOLED display on the Nothing Phone 2a definitely packs quite a punch. Watching movies or YouTube videos is definitely nice here, and the even bezels around are an added bonus. So basically you get a very immersive experience, and the huge 6.7-inch display is definitely big canvas, so watching videos and all is a delight here. But one thing I've been noticing a lot these days is the overselling of peak brightness, nits 1500 2000 nits. Okay, I agree, but it's not like 4 or 5 years back where you get only like 600 700 nits and outdoors you have to look like this. No, it's not like that. This smartphone comes with 1300 nits, and I've seen many people complaining about that. And to be honest, outdoors you definitely can view the display. Of course, when you compare it with many other smartphones having 1500 nits and stuff like that, of course those are brighter. That doesn't kill the fact that this smartphone is also viewable outside. It's just that is a little brighter. This is not that bright, but still you can view. You need not go do like this and like all this outside. So it is a really good display outdoors, and you will have no problem viewing it outdoor. And even at the lower setting, this display definitely goes really dim. So if you're someone who uses your phone a lot in the night, then this might be useful. Now the Nothing Phone 2a comes with a 120Hz display. Now this is amazing because it emphasizes the already smooth and snappy Nothing OS a lot, and thereby making your user experience really good. And this has a display that can go as low as 30 Hz. Of course, it's not like your LTPO panels that can go as low as 1 Hz, but considering that even 30 Hz will help save or increase battery life, then that is good. And on the subject of battery life, let's talk about the battery life. And I am happy to announce that the battery life on the Nothing Phone 2a is pretty good. And again, I'm stressing it a lot. It's because of the amazing optimization done here. Now, I am a person who puts the smartphone through heavy usage, especially when I am testing it. And still, by the end of the day, I could comfortably end it with like 15 or 20% battery life, despite me throwing this through heavy tasks. And even in real world use, if you're a heavy user, you could comfortably end the day without worrying about finding a charger. And for light users, this smartphone will definitely last for more than just a day. So with the battery life really good here, that's one thing less to worry about the Nothing Phone 2a. With battery life out of the way, let's talk about the cameras. Now the cameras here are good, but they are inconsistent. So let me explain. Now the main camera here is very good. Be it the 12 megapixel mode or 50 megapixel mode, the image output is really good. The photos turn out to be sharp and the colors are really good, but sometimes the dynamic range is a hit or miss, but that's sometimes, it doesn't happen always. But the portrait mode is not the best though. Sometimes the edge detection is good, but a lot of times it kind of messes it up. And I personally think this could be fixed with a software update. Now, I'm not pretty sure, but if that could be done, then that's great. But apart from the portrait mode, the biggest problem or the biggest thing that I didn't like about this smartphone is the ultra wide camera. So when it comes to the ultra wide, I would say this would be a good camera if you're shooting something scenic like a landscape or something where the focus doesn't matter a lot, because yeah, practically speaking, this ultra wide camera would be good for that. And the colors are good, they are good, but not as good as the main camera. Now the night mode shots again are a 50-50 case here. Sometimes they turn out good, sometimes they are bad, and in certain shots, to compensate for the amount of light, I just feel like it's over processed, things are over sharpened, and yeah, so that's not really great here. But one thing I like about this camera setup is that the video performance is pretty good. Now I shot a couple of videos in 4K 30 FPS, and I have to say the videos are really good. The colors are on point, the video is sharp and detailed. But this is under good lighting. But indoors, if the lighting is just okayish, then the video is overexposed to compensate for the lack of lighting, which makes it look kind of washed out. Now, of course, you can fix this by adding contrast in post-processing and stuff like that. But straight out of the camera, if that could be fixed, then that would be great. And another thing I like about this camera setup is the front-facing camera. The images are really good, and surprisingly, the portrait mode on the front-facing camera actually does a better job than the rear camera at detecting the edges and making you look good. If you're a person who loves taking selfies a lot, then the portrait mode selfie would look really good. Now, when it comes to the camera software, it has a lot of features and settings you can play with, But I do have some gripes here. Now, one thing is that while switching between the lenses, it is not smooth. Now, another gripe that I have is that the 50 megapixel photos take a lot of time to process in the camera app, and that is not good. So basically what I would say is that when it comes to the camera, it is a good camera with few misses here and there. But one thing I have to appreciate is that the camera has definitely improved a lot ever since I bought it, because with each software upgrade that I've gotten, the cameras have definitely improved, and that is good. And I'm really hoping that we will see more such refinements with upcoming software upgrades. So if you want me to rank this smartphone camera out of 10, I would give this a 7 out of 10 considering the price. Now, before talking about the main important stuff like why you should buy this and what are the things that are going to affect the Nothing Phone 2a, let's talk about the other smaller stuff. And let's talk about the build. Now, when it comes to build and design, it is very subjective. But one thing I can say about this phone is that this is definitely a huge boy because it is a broad phone. And it is not super comfy to hold on to, but it definitely has a unique look and definitely feels premium despite the plastic build. Now, another huge commotion that I've been hearing a lot is around the UFS 2.2 storage. Now, I agree it is slow, but it is not the difference between a spinning hard disk and an SSD. And I've been using this smartphone standalone and I haven't noticed anything like, oh, this is slow or something like that. And to test that out, I have even given the smartphone to some of my friends, my family members, and they haven't complained anything like, oh, this app is opening slow, oh, this thing is opening slow. No, of course, when you keep it side by side with smartphones having UFS 3.1, 4.1, there will be difference. And I'm not justifying the fact that Nothing put UFS 2.2 here, but I think that is a cost-cutting measure. But I really hope in the next mid-range smartphone they release, it'll be something newer. But right now in practical use, you will definitely not see much of a difference. But again, as I said, Nothing should come up with newer, faster storage in their next device. Now, there's IP54 certification here, so some peace of mind when it comes to water and dust protection. And the USB-C port here is USB 2.0, but I really wish it was 3.0 or higher. And I'm really glad it supports 45 watt charging. Now, even though it's not the fastest, but I'm still glad 45 watts is at least there. Now, let's talk about the Glyph interface. And to be very honest, other than the first day of testing it out, I really never used it ever since that. In fact, I used the Glyph sounds more than the Glyph interface itself. And all these sounds were actually quite helpful because that notified me better than the lights themselves. Now, I'm not telling this is a bad implementation. It will definitely take a couple of years for this to get implemented in a very good way such that everyone starts using it. But overall, when you take a look at this smartphone, let it be the design or how it looks, this here is definitely a unique looking smartphone. Of course, there are some misses here and there. I'm pretty sure they'll fix that in their next smartphone. But right now, this here is a definitely unique looking device, which will definitely grab the attention of many people. And with that said, let's come to the most important part of this video, and that is the price. Now, this starts at 24,000 rupees, and with bank offers you can get it for around 23,000 rupees. And for that price, this here is definitely a pretty good smartphone and a great value. But the only problem is that we have two big contenders competing in this space right now. So those are the Poco X6 Pro and the OnePlus Nord CE4. Now, I'm not telling the Nothing Phone 2a is bad, it is a very good smartphone. But these two smartphones provide certain things better than the Nothing Phone 2a. It can be things like the performance, the camera, the display. In various places, both these smartphones offer things that the Nothing Phone 2a doesn't. And the problem is, both these smartphones are priced close to the Nothing Phone 2a. You can get the Nord CE4 for around 25,000 and with bank offers around 23,000, and the Poco X6 Pro is 26,000 rupees, and with offers you can get it around 24,000 rupees. And with that in mind, it's kind of really hard to justify going and buying the Nothing Phone 2A. So if you ask me, who should buy the Nothing Phone 2A? So if you're someone who wants a smartphone with a clean software experience where there are no ads and the overall experience itself is smooth and snappy, a well optimized OS, a smartphone with a unique build, a smartphone that doesn't heat up or thermally throttle, which makes it stable in the long run, then the Nothing Phone is for you. And I'm pretty sure Nothing does a better job in supporting the smartphone via software updates better than the other two smartphones. But I think this comparison is for a separate video, which will definitely be coming soon, so make sure you stick for that. Nothing Phone 2A is a good smartphone, and as I mentioned before, if you come under this category of people who want something unique with a unique build, a smooth software experience, then go with the Nothing Phone 2A. But if Nothing wants to capture a bigger audience, then they will have to reduce their pricing. Now, I'm not in the Nothing team, so I don't know about what profits they make, things like that. But if they are willing to reduce their profits and sell this for a lower price, then I'm pretty sure the Nothing Phone 2A will definitely appeal to more people, because if you can get this for around 20,000 or 21,000, then of course this here is a pretty good deal. And with that said, this is my review of the Nothing Phone 2A, and I've made a review after nearly 2 years, and I'm very happy that I made this. So please do let me know which smartphone or which product you want me to cover next. And with that said, thanks for watching, and this here is Suman signing off once again. Catch you later.